Chapter 1. I stood in the hospital corridor, holding the late-night snack I had bought for my wife. 10 minutes ago, she suddenly texted me, saying she wanted dumplings from the shop across the street. Without a second thought, I rushed out of the office. Lately, her pregnancy symptoms had been severe, and I was terrified she might go hungry. Naomi, I'm back. The moment I pushed open the ward door, I froze. On the hospital bed, my wife, 7 months pregnant, was passionately kissing a young man in her arms, their bodies entwined, not even caring to avoid her swollen belly. Moonlight streamed in through the window, casting their shadows onto the wall like a mocking silhouette. The takeout box slipped from my hand, soup spilling everywhere. Naomi jolted in shock and hastily pushed the man away. Her face still carried the flush of pleasure, but now it shifted into sheer panic. Honey, you came back so soon. What a ridiculous question. The man, on the other hand, was calm. He straightened his collar, lips curling in a smug smile. Only then did I see his face clearly, handsome, youthful, at most 25 or 26. Dominic, go now, Naomi said anxiously. So, his name was Dominic. Even as he left, he turned back to glance at Naomi, his eyes full of lustful ambiguity. He swaggered right past me, not even bothering to acknowledge me as her husband. The ward was left with only Naomi and me. Honey, let me explain. Explain what? My voice was unnervingly calm. Explain that you were kissing, or explain whose child it is in your belly. Her face turned deathly pale. You're talking nonsense. Of course the child is yours. I let out a cold laugh. Really? Then tell me, why would you let another man kiss and hold you while pregnant? You've been so protective of this child. You wouldn't even let me touch you, and now you're clinging to someone else. It's not like that. Dominic and I were just a moment of weakness. Her tears spilled. Honey, I was wrong. Please forgive me. I swear it won't happen again. I walked over to the window, turning my back to her. Moonlight washed over me, stretching my shadow long. 7 years of marriage, from college sweethearts to marriage and children. I thought we would grow old together, but now I realized I had been living in a dream. How long have you known each other? She bit her lip, saying nothing. Answer me, I snapped, spinning around. 3 months. Her voice was tiny. He's a new intern at the company. 3 months, which meant when she was 4 months pregnant, she had already started this affair. Memories of the past 3 months hit me. She always claimed morning sickness, asking me to pick her up from work at night. Now it seemed those times, she was sneaking around with Dominic. She said the pregnancy was unstable, and we couldn't be intimate. Worried about the baby, I endured it. Yet she let another man embrace and kiss her. She complained I was too busy with work, that I didn't spend enough time with her. But wasn't I always dropping everything just to be by her side? So, whose child is it really? It's yours. It's really yours. She almost screamed. Dominic and I never did anything else. It was just kissing. You think I'd believe that? I stared at her coldly. This woman, was she still the wife I once loved so deeply? After getting pregnant, she was practically hospitalized every day, saying it was for the baby's safety. The doctor said her condition wasn't good and required constant monitoring. I never dared to slack off, terrified something might go wrong. Now I understood. The hospital had become their nest for infidelity. Honey, please forgive me just this once. For the child's sake. She struggled to get out of bed, her belly heavy, trying to hug me. I stepped back. Don't move. Careful with your lover's child. No, the child really is yours. She was so anxious she was nearly in tears. If you don't believe me, we can do a paternity test. We will. I turned toward the door. When the baby is born, I'll make sure we do a paternity test. But before then, you'd better pray this child is truly mine. Honey, she called after me. I walked away without looking back. In the corridor, nurses pushed medicine carts past me. They were still laughing, chatting about which new mother had just delivered a chubby boy today. How ironic. My wife, carrying who knows whose child, was having an affair with another man in the maternity ward. I stood at the hospital entrance and lit a cigarette. Through the swirling smoke, I saw Dominic waiting by the elevator not far away. When he spotted me, he even had the audacity to greet me. President Alex. I strode forward and punched him in the face. He staggered back, slamming into the wall. Fuck you, he cursed, clutching his face. I grabbed his collar. Dominic, right, feeling proud. Seducing another man's wife gives you a sense of achievement. None of your damn business, he sneered. You can't even keep your wife in line and you blame me. Besides, she came onto me. I didn't force her. I smashed my fist into his nose again. Blood instantly streamed down. Here's some advice. I gripped his throat tightly. Stay away from my wife, or I'll make sure you can't survive in this city. Heh. He wiped the blood from his nose. Who do you think you are? Just some upstart with money. Let me tell you, your wife is sweet as hell. Hot and seductive. A tired old man like you could never satisfy her. My vision went black. Rage consuming me. My fists crashed into his face again and again. Only when security rushed in did they manage to drag me off him. "You're finished," he shouted, clutching his swollen face. "I'll sue you for assault." "Go ahead." I straightened my suit jacket. "Try it. But before you do, I suggest you find out who I really am." With that, I turned and left. Behind me, his furious curses echoed through the hall. Back in my car, I called the company's vice president. "Vic, check the HR files on a new intern named Dominic." "Yes, I want everything, family background, relationships, every detail." After hanging up, I called a private investigator, told him to look into every interaction Naomi and Dominic had over the past 3 months. Once done, I lit a second cigarette. My phone rang. It was Naomi. I declined the call. Moments later, messages popped up on WeChat. "Honey, where did you go? Don't you want me anymore? Please come back." "Okay, I really know I was wrong. Did you hit Dominic? He says he'll sue you." "Don't be reckless." Ha, she sure learned quickly that I hit her little lover. Clearly, their contact hadn't been cut off. I tossed the phone onto the passenger seat and started the car. In the rearview mirror, the hospital building shrank into the moonlight. Inside one of its rooms lay the ruins of my collapsing marriage. Chapter 2. 3 days later, I sat in my office, staring at the investigation report on my desk. Dominic, 25 years old, graduated from a second-tier university with a major in marketing. His family background was average. Both parents were factory workers. After graduation, he worked in several small companies as a salesman. This year, through a headhunter's introduction, he came to our company as an intern. On the surface, he looked like an ordinary young man, but the report revealed a disgraceful past going back to his college years. He had piled up huge online loans and dated multiple women at the same time. After graduation, he went further, scamming several women under the guise of matchmaking. How did someone like this even pass our company's background check? I picked up the phone. "Tell Manager Koo from HR to come to my office soon." Manager Koo walked in. "Manager Koo, what's going on with this Dominic? Who was responsible for his background check?" It was Manager Naomi herself," Koo said, wiping the sweat from his forehead. "She claimed Dominic was recommended by her cousin, and insisted there was nothing wrong with his character." Manager Naomi, my dear wife, so she had already been colluding with Dominic long before. She deliberately brought him into the company to make their affair more convenient. "Terminate Dominic's internship contract immediately." Koo hesitated, but Manager Naomi, "What? Personnel decisions in this company need her approval now?" "And no, of course not." Koo waved his hands quickly. "I'll take care of it right away." He was about to leave, but I stopped him. "One more thing. HR needs restructuring. You'll take full responsibility. Naomi's work will be fully transferred to you." "Yes, sir." Koo looked relieved. I knew he had long despised Naomi's way of doing things. These past few months, she hardly ever came to the company, using her so-called pregnancy complications as an excuse. Yet she clung to her control over HR appointments. Now I finally understood why. The private investigator's report was even more shocking. In the past 3 months, Dominic had been to the hospital almost every single day to accompany Naomi. Not only that, they had engaged in intimate acts multiple times in the hospital's lounge. Several photos captured them kissing clearly. There were even videos. What enraged me most was that Naomi had never needed to be hospitalized at all. She had simply used the excuse of protecting the pregnancy as a cover to meet Dominic. My hand clenched into a fist unconsciously. The thought of her, 7 months pregnant, clinging to another man made me want to strangle her. Just then, my secretary knocked on the door. "President Alex, Manager Naomi is downstairs. She says it's urgent and she must see you. Send her up." Before long, Naomi walked into my office. Today she wore a loose maternity dress, looking fragile and pitiful. For the past 3 days, I hadn't gone home or taken any of her calls. She must have finally run out of patience. "Honey," she called out to me, eyes red with tears. I gestured for the secretary to leave and shut the door. "What is it? Why did you fire Dominic?" she asked anxiously. I sneered. "Why? Heartbroken for your little lover?" "No," she bit her lip. "His family background is poor. He really needs this job, so you pity him." I threw the photos on the desk at her. "Look, is this what you call nothing happened?" Her face turned deathly pale, her hands trembling as she flipped through the pictures. Each one recorded her betrayal in crystal clarity. You had me followed. Otherwise what? Should I have waited until you two staged an R-rated scene in the ward?" "No, it's not what you think." She was so desperate she was almost crying. "Dominic and I really just got intimate, but we never slept together. And you think that makes it okay?" I stared at her coldly. "Naomi, you let another man touch your belly. You let him kiss you, hold you. Tell me, doesn't that make you cheap?" "Honey," she crawled forward, clutching my leg. "I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. Please forgive me just this once. I swear I'll never dare again." I shoved her away. Stand up. Lying there like that, be careful with your lover's child. No, she sobbed. The child really is yours. I never slept with Dominic. If you don't believe me, we can do a paternity test right now. Do it. I looked down at her from above. But before then, you'd better pray this child is mine. Otherwise what? Otherwise I'll make you regret ever being alive. She collapsed on the floor, crying uncontrollably. I walked over to the window, looking down at the traffic below. This woman, once the person I loved most. For her, I gave everything. And her? She cheated on me with some boy toy. What was even more laughable, she still had the nerve to beg me to spare him. Go, I said coldly. Go home and take care of your pregnancy. As for Dominic, you'd better pray he never shows up in front of me again. Otherwise, I won't mind teaching him a lesson. What are you going to do to him? She asked in panic. I turned, staring at her pale face. You care about him that much? And no. Get out. She scrambled to her feet and stumbled out of the office. I picked up the phone. Do what I told you. Make sure Dominic can't survive in this city. After hanging up, I looked at the photos Naomi had left on my desk. In them, she leaned against Dominic's chest, smiling radiantly. I tore the pictures into shreds. What a filthy pair of lovers. Since you're so in love, then I'll send you both to hell together. Chapter 3. That night, I went home. Naomi was busy in the kitchen. Hearing the door open, she rushed out to greet me. Honey, you're finally back. I made some soup for you. Before she could finish, she suddenly clutched her belly and crouched down. Instinctively, I wanted to help her, but then I thought of her betrayal, and I withdrew my hand. You okay? If you feel unwell, go to the hospital. She lifted tearful eyes toward me. Honey, are you still mad at me? I walked straight into the study and began handling work. Soon after, she came in with the soup. Honey, drink this while it's hot. I know you haven't been eating well these past few days. Leave it there. Then, would you like some fruit? I can peel an apple for you. No need. I didn't look up. Just focus on your pregnancy. And by the way, you can rest at home from now on. No need to go to the hospital anymore. Her body stiffened. Of course, without Dominic, she no longer needed daily hospital visits. Honey, she hesitated. What else? Dominic. I raised my head. What? Worried about your little lover? No. She bit her lip. I heard you had people. What about it? I sneered. Naomi, you really care that much about him? No. Get out. She flinched violently, then scrambled out of the study in panic. I sneered and shook my head. This woman, still speaking up for that man even now. So she truly had fallen in love with Dominic. Fine. Then I'll make her watch as her beloved man is utterly ruined. I'll make her understand, in despair, what the price of betrayal is. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was a threatening text from Dominic. Alex, you screwed me over. My job's gone, and I won't let this slide. I smirked. This was just the beginning. I already warned you, stay away from my wife. Since you didn't listen, don't blame me for being ruthless. Heh, you think this scares me? Let me tell you, your wife came onto me first. She said you're useless. Couldn't even satisfy her. Every time I touched her she moaned like crazy. Sluttier than a whore. My vision went black. I nearly crushed the phone in my hand. Taking a deep breath, I typed back. Good. You want to see what I can do to you? I'll show you. After a long pause, he replied, bring it on. You think I'm scared? At worst, I'll send you videos of your wife begging for it. My eyes narrowed. This idiot, he still dared to threaten me. What he didn't know was that I had already planted spyware in his phone. Every chat with Naomi, every photo, every video, they were all in my hands, including evidence of him threatening other women. I called a trusted friend and told him to leak Dominic's past scams to the media. Soon, Dominic would learn what it meant to cross me. I would drag him step by step into the abyss, make him collapse in despair, and let Naomi watch as her beloved man lost everything. Late at night, I lay on the sofa in the study. Faintly, I heard Naomi's muffled sobs from the bedroom. Heh, what are you crying for now? Are you crying for your lover's impending downfall, or for the end of your own good days? Doesn't matter. Soon enough, you'll both learn how high the price of betraying me really is. Chapter 4. A week later, Dominic's scandals exploded all over the internet. News surfaced that he had swindled female classmates back in college, and soon after, people dug up his sordid history of conning women out of money and sex under the guise of blind dates. Several victims came forward with real-name accusations, while others released chat records with him. Public outrage ignited instantly. I sat in my office, watching the flood of online condemnation. Dominic had already been doxxed, his photos, address, even his parents' information had been exposed. Netizens cursed him relentlessly, vowing to destroy him socially. Just then, my secretary knocked on the door. President Alex. Manager Naomi. No, Madam Naomi is outside. Let her in. Naomi hurried in, her face pale. It was you, wasn't it? I looked up at her. What are you talking about? You had people leak Dominic's dark past. Her voice trembled with emotion, almost breaking. Why would you do this? He'll be ruined. I slowly stood and walked over to her. So, you came here to beg for your little lover? No, I just think it doesn't have to be this cruel. Doesn't have to. I sneered. He seduced my wife, tore apart my family, and you say it doesn't have to. But, smack. My palm landed hard across her face. She clutched her cheek, staring at me in disbelief. You hit me. Hit you. I gripped her wrist tightly. Naomi, you think I'd stop at just one slap? You cheated on me with another man, and now you dare defend him to my face? No, it's not like that. Tears streamed down her face. I really didn't do anything with Dominic. It was just a moment of weakness. Weakness. I released her and pulled out a stack of photos from the drawer, throwing them at her face. Look at these. You let another man hold you, kiss you. Tell me, is that what you call weakness? The photos scattered across the floor. Each one clearly captured her intimacy with Dominic. Her face drained of color, her body trembling. You actually had me spied on. If I hadn't, how would I know what my dear wife was doing in the hospital? I spat each word. You claimed you needed hospitalization to protect the pregnancy, but really it was just an excuse to meet your little lover, wasn't it? You said the morning sickness was severe, but really it was just to keep me from touching you, wasn't it? You'd better pray the child in your belly is mine. I leaned close, staring into her pale face. Otherwise, I won't hesitate to ruin you. Neither you nor your lover will get away unscathed. No, don't. She stumbled back in fear. The child really is yours. Please don't hurt him. We'll know once a paternity test is done after he's born. My voice was cold. But until then, I'll make both of you taste what betrayal feels like. Suddenly, she threw herself down and clutched my leg. Honey, please forgive me. I truly know I was wrong. I'll never dare again. I kicked her away. Get out. Do you really think I'll ever believe you again? She fell heavily to the floor, clutching her belly in pain, curling up. It hurts. A trace of pity flickered in my eyes, but it was quickly swallowed by rage. This woman didn't deserve my mercy. She had betrayed me for a boy toy, and now she dared to beg for him. I picked up the phone. Tell security to escort her home. Soon, the guards came in and dragged her out. All the way, she cried out, honey, don't throw me out. I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. I stared out at the gloomy clouds and lit a cigarette. My phone buzzed. It was another threatening text from Dominic. Alex, it's you messing with me, isn't it? If you've got balls, face me head on. I smirked. This idiot, still clueless about what was coming. I already warned you to stay away from my wife. Since you didn't listen, don't blame me for being ruthless. Heh, you think this scares me? You're nothing but a pathetic loser who can't even control his own wife. Do you know how eager she is whenever she sees me? She said you could never satisfy her. My eyes narrowed. Good. You'd better pray I don't find you. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead. Come on then. I'm waiting. I don't believe you'll actually do anything. Idiot. What he didn't know was that I had already dug up every piece of dirt on him, including the loan sharks he owed, the criminal evidence. Everything was ready. Very soon, he would learn the price of provoking me. That night, when I returned home, I found Naomi packing her luggage. Where are you going? She jumped, hurriedly wiping her tears. I was going back to my parents for a few days. No need. My tone was icy. You're not going anywhere. After the baby is born and the paternity test is done, we'll divorce. No. She rushed over to hug me. Honey, please don't divorce me. I know I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. I shoved her away. Wrong. Or worried that your little lover is about to go down. No. Dominic and I really don't have anything. Enough. I cut her off. Do you think I'd still believe a word you say? You cheated on me with another man, and now you still defend him. What right do you have to ask me for trust? She knelt on the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Honey, I really was wrong. Hit me. Curse me if you want. Just don't cast me out. I looked down coldly at her. You'd better pray the child in your belly is mine. Otherwise, it's yours. Really, it's yours. She clung to my leg, crying bitterly. I never slept with Dominic. I was just blinded for a moment. Fine. I looked down at her from above. Then tell me, did you fall in love with him? Her whole body trembled. Say it. Did you fall in love with that man? She bit her lip, tears pouring down like rain. No, I didn't fall in love with him. I only love you. Bullshit. I shoved her away. If you only loved me, then why betray me? Why cheat with him? Why are you still pleading for him now? She collapsed to the ground, sobbing without strength. I sneered and shook my head. Fine. Since you love him so much, I'll let you two have each other. With that, I turned and stormed into the study, slamming the door shut. This woman, she still refused to admit she loved that man. Did she really think I was that easy to fool? I picked up the phone. Release the rest of Dominic's dirt. Make sure he can't stay in this city. Very soon, an even bigger storm would arrive. I would make them both taste what betrayal feels like. Chapter 5. 3 days later, more scandals about Dominic exploded online. His loan sharking debts, Detailed accounts of his scams and multiple criminal offenses, all were exposed. Public outrage against him grew louder and louder. Someone even leaked his home address, threatening to block him at his house. His parents were harassed online so badly that they had to move away to hide. I sat in my office, scrolling through the flood of comments online. Then a WeChat message popped up. It was from Naomi. "Please, I beg you, let Dominic go. He's already miserable enough." I sneered. This woman, still begging for that man even now. "You care about him that much?" "No, I just think there's no need to push things so far. His family is poor, and his parents are being harassed online." "Heh," I replied. "Then why don't you care about my feelings? My wife cheated on me. What do you think I'm supposed to do?" She stayed silent for a long while before replying. "I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Punish me if you want. Just don't make things harder for him." "You think this is punishment?" I sneered. "No, I want you both to taste betrayal. Didn't you love him? Then watch him lose everything." "No, I didn't fall in love with him. I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong." "Enough," I roared. "You're still lying to me. If you didn't love him, then why keep begging for him?" She said nothing. After a long pause, she finally wrote back, "Honey, what do you want me to do before you'll forgive me?" "Forgive?" I sneered. "Do you think you still deserve forgiveness? Just wait, the real show hasn't even started yet." I blocked her. Just then, my secretary knocked on the door. "President Alex, Dominic is causing a scene in the lobby. He says he wants to see you." The corner of my mouth curled. "Send him up." Soon, Dominic barged into my office. He looked haggard, eyes bloodshot, like a madman. "Alex, you're the one behind this, aren't you?" He charged toward me. "If you've got guts, face me openly. Hiding in the shadows, what kind of man are you?" I stared at him coldly. "I warned you to stay away from my wife. Since you didn't listen, don't blame me for being ruthless." "Heh," he sneered. "You think this will scare me? Let me tell you, your wife was the one who seduced me. She said you're useless. Couldn't even satisfy her." Smack. My fist crashed into his face. He staggered back, slamming against the wall. "UF asterisk asterisk asterisker." He clutched his face, trying to lunge at me. I grabbed his collar and slammed him back against the wall. "Listen carefully. This is only the beginning. I'll make sure you can't survive in this city. I'll make you ruined, broken, and stripped of everything. You wouldn't dare." He struggled. "I'll fight you to the end." "Fight?" I sneered. "With what? You think I don't know how much loan debt you owe? You think I don't have evidence of your scams against those women? You think you still have a way out?" His face drained of color. How do you know?" "I told you, never provoke me." I spat the words out slowly. "Now you know what happens when you cross me." His whole body trembled. What do you want?" "What do I want?" I released him. "Get the hell out of this city. Never let me see you again. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die without a grave." He collapsed on the floor, eyes vacant and hollow. Just then, my phone rang. It was a call from the hospital. "Mr. Alex, your wife is experiencing acute abdominal pain. She's in the emergency room now." I hung up, glanced at Dominic, and said, "Remember what I told you. Get out." He stumbled away in panic. When I arrived at the hospital, Naomi was lying in the emergency room. Her face was pale, tears streaming nonstop. The doctor said her emotions were too agitated. She nearly went into premature labor. The nurse explained, "She's been given medication to stabilize the pregnancy for now." I looked at her swollen belly, irritation surging in my chest. This woman, she had risked even the child's life for that boy toy. "Honey," she called out weakly. I ignored her and turned to leave the emergency room. In the corridor, I lit a cigarette. My phone suddenly rang. It was an unfamiliar number. "President Alex, this is Dominic. What is it?" I admit defeat. His voice was weary. "I'll leave this city, but could you stop targeting my parents?" I sneered. "What? Now you finally know how to bow your head?" "Yes, it was my fault." His voice cracked with sobs. "I shouldn't have gone after your wife. I was blinded for a moment. Please, just spare my parents." "Fine." I crushed the cigarette butt. "But hear me clearly. Never let me see you again. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die without a grave." I hung up and looked at the moonlight outside the window. Good. The first step of my plan was complete. Next, it was Naomi's turn to taste the agony of betrayal. Chapter 6. 1 month later, Dominic had already left the city. His scandals continued to spread. Several victims had filed police reports, and authorities were now investigating his fraud cases. I sat in the study, reading the latest news on my computer. Naomi pushed the door open. "Honey," without lifting my head, I asked, "What is it? Do you have any news about Dominic?" I raised my eyes, staring coldly at her. "What? Missing your little lover?" "No," she bit her lip. "I just heard his father was hospitalized. What does that have to do with you?" I just thought. You thought I've gone too far, didn't you?" I stood up and walked toward her. "Naomi, you're still speaking up for him. Are you cheap?" She trembled all over. "No, I'm not." "You're not." I sneered. "Then why do you keep caring about him? Did you fall in love with him?" No, I really didn't fall in love with him, she explained anxiously. It was just a moment of weakness. Smack. My palm struck across her face. Still lying to me. If you didn't love him, then why betray me? Why sneak around with him? Why keep defending him even now? Covering her cheek, she sobbed uncontrollably. I'm sorry. I truly know I was wrong. Wrong. I sneered. It's too late. Once the baby is born, we'll get a divorce. No. She threw herself at my legs. Honey, please don't divorce me. I truly know I was wrong. I'll never dare again. I kicked her away. Get out. Do you think I'd ever believe you again? She fell heavily to the ground, clutching her belly, curling up in pain. I looked down at her coldly. Remember, you brought this on yourself. Then I turned and walked out, leaving her cries behind the closed door. That night, I received a text message from Dominic. President Alex, my father is gravely ill and needs surgery. Please, I beg you, let my family go. I sneered. Now you know how to beg. Too late. I'm sorry. I truly know I was wrong. Please, have mercy. Fine, I replied. You want me to spare your father? Then make a public confession about you and Naomi. Tell the world what you did. He was silent for a long time before answering. Wouldn't that hurt Naomi's reputation too much? Heh, I sneered. Now you're suddenly worried about her. Too late for that. Choose your father's life or her dignity. The next day, Dominic posted a long public statement online. He admitted to seducing a married woman, acknowledged his improper behavior, though he didn't mention her name. Anyone with eyes knew who it was about. The internet exploded. Naomi broke down crying when she saw it, nearly going into premature labor again. I watched coldly. Good. Now she knew what betrayal tasted like. Just then, the maid rushed in, saying Naomi had fainted. I hurried to the bedroom, finding her collapsed on the floor, her phone still glowing. On the screen was Dominic's confession. I had her taken to the hospital. The doctor said the emotional shock was too severe, and she needed to be hospitalized for observation. I stood outside the ward, listening to the muffled sobs inside. Heh, now she cried. When she betrayed me, did she ever think about the consequences? My phone rang. It was Dominic. I did what you said. Please, spare my father. Fine, I replied. But I warn you, never appear before me again. Otherwise, I'll make you regret ever being born. After hanging up, I looked at Naomi's shadow inside the ward. She lay curled up on the hospital bed, sobbing endlessly. Good. This is the price of betrayal. I'll make sure you both remember this lesson for the rest of your lives. Chapter 7. The October night was bitterly cold. In the maternity ward of the hospital, Naomi was in labor. I stood outside the operating room, listening to her cries from within. There was not a trace of pity in me, only disgust. This child, who knew if it was even mine? Even if it was, I would never forgive her betrayal. Just then, a nurse rushed out. Mr. Alex, your wife is hemorrhaging heavily. She needs immediate surgery. I looked at her coldly. I understand. Do whatever needs to be done. The nurse froze, stunned that a husband could be so indifferent. 2 hours later, the child was born, a boy. Naomi, due to massive blood loss, was kept in intensive care. I carried the baby to have a paternity test done. Though he resembled me, I had to be sure. For the 3 days awaiting the result, I never once went to see Naomi. When she woke, she sent me countless messages. I ignored them all. On the 4th day, the paternity test result arrived. The child was mine. I stood in the hospital corridor, lighting a cigarette. Heh, that bitch hadn't betrayed me with the child, but that didn't change anything. Her betrayal of me would never be erased. I entered the ward, finding Naomi breastfeeding. When she saw me, her eyes lit up. Honey, the paternity result is out. I tossed the report onto the bed. He's mine. Relief washed over her face. I told you, the child is yours. I really didn't. Enough. I cut her off. I'll raise the child. As for you, once you're discharged, we'll proceed with the divorce. Her face went deathly pale. No, honey, please don't throw me out. The baby is still so little. The child will carry my surname. Lynn. My tone was icy. You can see him, but don't ever think of taking him away. No. She wept. Honey, let me stay. I truly know I was wrong. I'll be good to you from now on. Do you even deserve that chance? I sneered. When you betrayed me, did you ever think about consequences? I was wrong. She clutched the baby, crying bitterly. I truly know I was wrong. Forgive me. Just this once. For the sake of the child. For the sake of the child, I mocked. When you were in another man's arms, did you ever think of the child? Her whole body shook. I'm sorry. Enough. I turned toward the door. Once you're discharged, I'll have the lawyer come with the papers. No. She struggled to get out of bed. Honey, don't leave me. The nurse rushed in, pressing her back down. Don't move. Your wound will tear open. I walked away without looking back. Behind me echoed her desperate cries. Honey, please don't go. A week later, Naomi was discharged from the hospital. I sent the lawyer to her, but she flat out refused to sign the papers. President Alex, Your wife refuses to divorce no matter what, the lawyer said helplessly. She insists on seeing you. No, my voice was cold. Tell her, either she signs, or I'll ruin her completely. Just tell her that. I have plenty of ways to make sure she'll have no choice but to divorce. The lawyer left reluctantly. Not long after, Naomi bombarded me on WeChat. Honey, please, see me just once. I truly know I was wrong. Give me one more chance. Okay. I'll do anything you say. Just don't divorce me. I didn't reply to a single message. Then my secretary entered. President Alex, your wife is downstairs. She refuses to leave. I walked to the window and looked down. Naomi was standing in the company lobby, clutching the baby. When security tried to push her out, she hugged the child and cried. What a show of pitifulness. I picked up the phone, released the video of Dominic and Naomi online. Soon, the video spread like wildfire. Even though it was blurred, anyone with eyes could tell who it was. The comment section exploded. Oh my God, isn't that the Lynn Corporation president's wife? Cheating during pregnancy, disgusting. A woman like that deserves divorce. I stood at the window, watching Naomi being pointed at and gawked at downstairs. She clutched the baby like a wounded animal. My phone rang. It was her. Why did you release the video? Why? I sneered. What's wrong? Does it hurt now? Why? Her voice trembled through sobs. Why are you treating me like this? You brought this on yourself. My tone was ice. It's not too late. Sign the papers now. Otherwise, there are more videos. She was silent for a long while. Do you really hate me that much? What do you think? I mocked. Weren't you happy enough when you betrayed me? I'm sorry, she whimpered. I truly know I was wrong. Please forgive me. I'll do anything you say. Too late. I hung up. Sign the papers. That's your only choice. The next day, she finally signed the divorce agreement. Custody of the child was awarded to me. She only had visitation rights 3 times a month. As I watched her figure disappear, I felt not a shred of pity. This was the price of betrayal. Chapter 08. A month later, I was in a meeting when I suddenly got a call. Dominic had an accident. He was found in a rented apartment with serious injuries. The police investigation revealed that the person responsible was Naomi. She had gone to see Dominic beforehand, questioning him about why he exposed things online, why he damaged her reputation. During their argument, she lost control and hurt Dominic with a fruit knife. Afterwards, she also harmed herself, but she was discovered in time and taken to the hospital, where she was treated. I stood in the hospital corridor, looking into the ICU at Naomi. Her face was pale, almost without strength. The doctor said her condition was very critical, and they didn't know if she could recover. I turned and walked away. As for her, we had long ceased to have any connection. The next day, I received the news. Naomi was gone. Before she left this world, she sent me one last message. Sorry, I love you, but I cannot forgive myself. I deleted the message and threw the phone into the drawer. This was the price of betrayal. I hired a nanny for my son and started a new life. Sometimes, when I watched him sleeping peacefully, I thought of her, but none of that mattered anymore. Betrayal is betrayal. It can never be forgiven. I started dating again and met new women. Life had to move forward. As for the past, let it drift away with the wind. This was my revenge, and it was her retribution.